A very good evening and warm welcome to Dharma Television Collective News. This is Srishti Khadki. Moving on to the headlines. One dies due to corona in Pokhara. A headless dead body was found near Gangabu in Kathmandu. One killed in motorcycle vehicle collision in Surabinayak of Bhaktapur. The odd-even system implemented by the government in the Kathmandu Valley seemed to be effective. The unopposed elected chairpersons of National Assembly took oath of office and secrecy. Indian Army provides 10 ICU ventilators to Nepal Army to fight corona epidemic. 7 people have died in a fire at India's Corona Care Center. Worldwide COVID-19 update. The price of gold decreased by Rs 900. Here we go for news in detail. One person has died in Pokhara due to corona infection. A 62-year-old man died on August 7 while undergoing treatment at the ICU of Pokhara Institute of Health Science. Director of Western Regional Hospital, Associate Professor Dr. Arjun Acharya informed that corona infection has been confirmed in the deceased. At the same time, the number of deaths due to coronavirus has reached 5 in Gandaki. A headless dead body was found near Gangabu in Kathmandu. Police said that the body was found in a suitcase with its head cut off. The deceased have been identified as men in the age group of 40 to 45 years. The body has been sent to 3-minute Teaching Hospital, Maharajganj for the postmortem. The headless body of the man was found in a black suitcase near Ghanistan and his head at a distance of 200 meters, according to the Kathmandu Metropolitan Police. The locals had informed the police after seeing blood flowing from the suitcase placed on the side of the road. A team of high-ranking police officers and forensic doctors working in the Kathmandu Valley have inspected the site. Police said that they have came close to identifying the body after the preliminary investigation. A motorcyclist has died when his motorcycle collided with a pickup truck at A Jagati Chowk in Surabinayak municipality of Bhaktapur. Suman Shrestha, 29, of Kamal Binayak died in a head-on collision last night. Shrestha died while undergoing treatment at around 10:45 p.m., said Deepak Giri, information officer at the District Police Office, Bhaktapur. The driver has been taken under control by the police. The odd-even system implemented by the government has been effective since the rate of corona infection began to rise. Traffic congestion has also been reduced in the Kathmandu Valley. The traffic jam has also been reduced in Charbel, Kodesur, Baneshwar and other areas of Kathmandu. According to the Traffic Division, the government had introduced odd-even system in the last few days after the transition rate in the valley began to rise. The Traffic Department is checking the vehicles at various places in the valley through checkpoints. Despite the government's decision to allow long-distance vehicles to operate from 1st of Bhadra, confusion has arisen as the number of infected people has been increasing enormously. The unopposed chairpersons of all the 4 thematic committees under the National Assembly have taken oath of office and secrecy. He was administered the oath of office by National Assembly Speaker Ganesh Prasad Timalsina at Singadawar on Sunday. Parshuram Meghi Gurung in the Legislative Management Committee, Ram Narayan Bidari in the Delegated Management and Government Assurance Committee, Tara Devi Bhatta in the Sustainable Development and Good Governance Committee and Dilkumari Rawal were sworn in as the chairperson of the National Affairs and Coordination Committee. The names submitted by the proponents and supporters of the candidate for the post of chairperson were unanimously approved by the meeting of the concerned committee on August 7. The Indian Army has gifted 10 ICU ventilators to the Nepal Army to fight the corona epidemic. Ambassador of India to Nepal, Vinay Mohan Quatra, handed over the ventilator to Chief of the Army Staff, Purnachandra Thapa, at a function held at Jangi Adda on Sunday. The Indian Army has been assisting the Nepal Army for a long time for humanitarian assistance and relief. According to Indian Embassy in Kathmandu, the ventilators were provided as a gift under the ongoing humanitarian assistance between the two countries' armies. During the handover, Ambassador Quatra said that India was committed to provide all necessary assistance to the people of Nepal for the victory in the fight against COVID-19. Chief of Army Staff Thapa thanked the Indian Army for providing medical equipment. 7 people have died in a fire at India's Corona Care Center. The fire broke out at a hotel called Golden Palace in Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh, India, which was being used as a Corona Care Center by a private hospital. 7 people have been killed so far in the accident and about 50 people were at the hotel at the time of the accident, according to the police department. 4 people who rushed to the hospital to escape the fire have gone missing so far. The injured have been rushed to nearby Ramesh Hospital. Worldwide COVID-19 update. Brazil became the second country to pass the grim milestone of 100,000 deaths of coronavirus Saturday, as U.S. President Donald Trump signed executive actions extending economic help in the world's worst-hit nations. The U.S. leader's orders followed the failure by his Republican Party and opposition Democrats to agree on a new stimulus package despite the country's double-digit unemployment, business downturn and stubbornly high coronavirus infection rates. Meanwhile, just a day after Latin America and the Caribbean became the hardest hit region in the global pandemic, Brazil reported a total of 100,477 fatalities, joining the United States as the only 2 countries to surpass the 6-digit death mark. Tolls continue to rise across the world, with global fatalities having now soared past 722,000. More than 162,000 of those were in the United States, which was on the verge of recording 5 million cases. India has more than 2 million infections, its caseload having doubled in 3 weeks, and has recorded 42,518 deaths. And more than 10,000 people have died from coronavirus in South Africa, the health ministry said Saturday, as football resumed following a 145-day coronavirus-induced shutdown. Growing infections in and around Paris have prompted officials to make face masks compulsory outdoors in crowded areas and tourist hotspots in the city and surrounding areas from Monday. The masks will be obligatory for all those aged 11 and over in certain very crowded zones, said a police statement, including the banks of the Seine River and more than 100 streets in the French capital. As temperatures soared across Western Europe, holidaymakers crowded beaches despite warnings about the risks of infection. On Saturday, a day after Britain recorded its hottest August day in 17 years at 36.4 degrees Celsius, 97.5 Fahrenheit, much of its southern coastline was packed with tourists. Local authorities in Germany warned that some beaches and lakes would be closed if there were too many people. Belgian police, meanwhile, arrested several people Saturday at the resort of Blankenberg after a brawl broke out on a beach between officers and youths they had told to leave for refusing to respect virus safety measures. Around 5,000 people demonstrated in Vienna for increased financial support for nightlife and relaxing coronavirus regulations. Some workplaces remain hotspots of infection. Meat-giant Danish Crown announced Saturday it had shut down a major slaughterhouse in Denmark after nearly 150 employees came down with the virus. India now has the world's 3rd highest pandemic caseload after the United States and Brazil. Women health workers in several Indian states staged a 2-day strike from Friday and a planned mass protest in New Delhi on Sunday for better pay, a higher pension and antivirus protection equipment and testing. Shiksha Rana, a social health activist in New Delhi, told AFP at least 200 health workers and their families had been infected in the Delhi region alone. We had to crowdfund money for the treatment and food for the families, she said. In the United States, where many Americans have been relying on relief measures approved earlier by Congress but which mostly expired in July, Trump said his decision to circumvent lawmakers with executive actions would mean money is rapidly distributed. One measure aims to get $400 a week added to unemployment benefits, while 2 others offer some protection from evictions and relief for student loans. Another, opposed by many Republicans as well as Democrats, orders a freeze in payroll taxes. However, the measures which Trump signed at his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, are likely to face court challenges since they circumvent Congress, which has constitutional power over most spending decisions. Palestinian children returned to school in Gaza after a 5-month suspension due to coronavirus lockdown, but with fewer classes and special safety measures in place. The United Nations Agency for Palestinians, UNRWA, said over 285,000 pupils had returned to its 277 schools. Gaza, under an Israeli blockade since 2007, has reported 78 cases of COVID-19 illness, with one death. And in Taiwan, airlines have been innovating to try to alleviate the financial hit from the coronavirus downturn and are now offering sightseeing, flights to nowhere and flight attending courses for children. The price of gold, which has been rising continuously, has dropped by Rs 900 today. According to the Federation of Nepali Gold and Silver Entrepreneurs, the price of gold today is Rs 1,02,600 per tola. Tejratna Shakya, committee coordinator of the Federation, informed that the price of gold has become cheaper in the Nepali market along with the depreciation of the dollar in the international market. Even though the price of gold has declined today, the price of silver has risen by Rs 5 per tola to Rs 1,410 per tola. This is all for now. Keep watching Dharma television for more news and updates. May all the sentient beings be at peace. Stay safe.